Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right, welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim, and our guest today is Jeff. So, Jeff, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Sure. My name is Jeff Klein. I'm a speaker and a speaker coach, as well as a business networking guru. So I help people with the words that they want to say. I help them create the words that they meant to say so that people actually care. I do that with everything from the 30-second elevator pitch all the way up to keynote addresses for thousands.
So how did you get into being a speaking coach? 'Cause I think it's something that many people struggle with. So have you always been a good speaker? Like, how did you fall into this?
I came to speaking through the kitchen, is how I put it, Dan. I came through on-the-job training and by doing. I had started a new business in 2001. I started an ad agency, which was the culmination of a bunch of different experiences, everything from working in the film business, doing advertising, working for a couple of sports teams for the Dallas. We're in Dallas. I'll go that way. There we go. Cowboys, working for the Texas Rangers and the Dallas Stars. And a couple of years into that new company, I discovered an organization called CEO Space. And at the time, they were doing a Friday lunch every week, teaching people the elevator pitch. And I really clicked with that education and started helping at their other weekly meeting, and with helping people do some coaching with their businesses, and speaking at the lunches on advertising and marketing. And one day somebody said, "Hey, Jeff, would you come help? Would do that 30-second commercial thing at our networking group?" And I made sure I got permission, and knowing I was helping promote the organization and my ad agency, because networking is the most basic form of advertising, and started doing that. And at that meeting, the first time I did it, somebody said, "Hey, would you come do this at our meeting?" And then just sort of snowballed from there. And before I knew it, I was speaking 2 or 3 times a month on the elevator pitch.
Well, I was just curious, so what made you had this ad agency that was very successful. So what made you want to go from doing that to being more of a speaking coach?
Well, the speaking coach thing happened over time, Dan. I started meeting more and more people who were speakers of different flavors. I got involved with the National Speakers Association as a vendor at the time, because the agency was focused on doing video and websites, and speakers needed videos and websites. So I was attending those meetings and getting the education as a professional speaker. And I was also speaking at the same time. And so things just started clicking, and I was enjoying the speaking more a little, as the speaking had to be more fun than the advertising. And I started speaking more and doing less on the ad side. And then in 2006, we started a lunch called Speaker Co-op. And it was originally just a networking lunch, a way to get in front of more audiences for those of us involved. And 5 or 6 of us got together and decided to do it. And I suggested we have a lunch, and they said, "Great idea, Jeff. Why don't you start a lunch and we'll support you?" And the truth is that it wouldn't have happened if they hadn't supported me, but we all kind of put this thing together, and 50 people showed up at our first meeting. So we knew we had something going on. And so every month I found myself in front of the room talking about speaking, especially speaking as a way to grow your business. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's awesome. But I guess I'm just curious, what in your mind makes somebody successful in speaking? Because as I said earlier, many people struggle with it. So what are some tips you could give somebody to be successful?
Well, so the primary thing is to decide why you're doing it, right? I mean, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? Zig Ziglar, may he rest, told us that there's no such thing as a free speech. And I live that model every day, because a lot of the speaking I do is paid without a fee up front, but I promote my businesses when I'm speaking. And to me, that's something I teach as well. And that's something that I think just about any business can do to promote themselves one to many. It's, you network, you're networking one to one. Speaking, you're speaking one to many. You're telling people, a whole room full of people, about your business in a way that they're getting value from it. So it's not a 30-minute or 20-minute commercial. It's actually, you're giving value that has with something that has to do with what you do for a living. And that's part of the key. Is if you're not giving value, nobody's going to be listening anyway.
That's true. So like, how do you coach people? Because obviously there's a difference between, to your point, doing a 30-second elevator pitch versus giving a speech where you're on a stage for 20, 30 minutes and you're in front of an audience, right? People get very intimidated by those types of speeches. So how do you coach people to be successful in those environments?
Well, and I'll kind of answer the same way a little bit, Dan, is that the first thing is, why are you there? Right. And a lot of people get the elevator pitch wrong because they think they're there to sell to the room. The elevator pitch is not your way to turn the people in the room into your customers. The 30-second elevator pitch in a networking environment is a way for you to give some information, but it's a way to get a couple of people in the room to introduce you to somebody they know that you can meet to help you grow your business. The elevator pitch is designed in that environment to ask for a referral, to get one introduction from somebody in the room where somebody you can help and they can help you, right? So not even asking for customers. I teach people to ask for partners, for referral partners in the room, and then that becomes that referral partner that you meet becomes somebody you can meet introductions to potential customers from, right? So in that, and then the 20-minute speech, that's designed to turn some of the people in the room into your clients and into leads for other clients. So again, why are you there, right? The elevator pitch when you're in an elevator is designed to get the business card of the person in the elevator with you so you can reach out to them later. You're not trying to get a referral from the person in the elevator because you just met them and your time is very limited. So again, it's why are you there? Do you need help are you looking for help becoming comfortable in front of the room, right? Are you one of the 50% of people who are breathing who would rather be in the coffin than giving the eulogy at a funeral because you're afraid of public speaking? That's the old Seinfeld joke, but the truth is half of us are more afraid of speaking than of dying. And those people, again, as a speaker coach, I can help those people with that problem. As a business person, I can help them turn speaking into something that gets them clients instead of just applause.
That's so true. So what would you say is the biggest challenge that you face currently in your business?
The biggest challenge I face currently is getting through the white noise of everybody out there saying they're an expert. If you search speaker coach or I want to become a speaker online, you're going to find a dozen people that are down the street from you that tell you they can help you.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it is competitive, right? So how do you separate yourself? I mean, are you running ads? Like, how do you position yourself? Because obviously, as you mentioned earlier, you have a lot of experience, but how do you position yourself that somebody, A, can find you, but B, if they do find you, that they know that you're the right choice to really help them out?
It's a great question, Dan. I was talking to somebody earlier today who was giving me some pointers on how to improve my LinkedIn profile. I found that that's a very important tool. That's how we met, right, on LinkedIn. It's a very important tool to get out in front of people that you want to meet, not just anybody, right? And so that's a way to differentiate yourself. And LinkedIn lets you get recommendations. So I've got over 80 recommendations. So that right there sets me apart from other folks. And I have almost 8,000 people I'm connected to. So again, if somebody goes on there and says, who do I want to hire? The person with 1,200 connections or 8,000 connections, you decide, right? Which one's going to be more likely to help you with what you want help with. The truth is, a lot of those people who say they can help you, but you have to be sure that you have to make sure that you find somebody who actually can. You have to get recommendations, you have to get referrals, you have to pay attention to what other people are saying about them besides just what they tell you. And not everybody is a fit for everybody else. So there are people that you want to work with more than somebody else. Right. And you run into that every day. And fortunately, I'm in a position where in my career where I get to say no to people. If it's somebody I don't want to work with, I don't have to. I can refer them to somebody else.
So, in terms of, technology, what does technology look like, and the role of it specifically when it comes to your business?
Well, my primary tool for getting clients and for doing business is a website. So right there, I'm dependent on technology, and it's a responsive website, so it has to work on the phone as well as on the computer, right, on the laptop and on all the other kinds of devices people are using, because our primary tool, the Speaker Co-op website, is a place for event planners to find speakers. We have a two-tiered business where I have clients who are speakers that we're helping become better and get in front of audiences. And we have clients who are the audiences that are looking for speakers. So it gets a little muddy where, for example, the woman who was helping me, giving me advice on my LinkedIn profile said, well, this banner here doesn't say what you said to me when I asked you what you did. And I said, well, the banner is talking to meeting planners who want to find speakers, and you're a speaker. So I talked to you about what I do from your perspective, as opposed to from the perspective of the other client that I serve, right? So technology helps us reach the different kinds of clients in different ways, for sure. But I mean, if it wasn't for virtual speaking, we wouldn't have survived COVID, right? I mean, we all got driven to our homes with the whole pandemic thing. And for my business, it was a boon. It was a benefit, because I went from being a guy in Dallas, Texas, with members and clients all over the state and a handful around the country, to a guy with clients and members all over the world.
Obviously, now we spoke like about technology, but what would you say is a use case for something like AI when it comes to your business? 'Cause I think that many people are figuring out how to best use AI, and I think one thing, especially when it comes to speaking, you see these kind of like people using AI to like have these snippets of like deep fakes or things like that. So is that something that you've seen when it comes to your business, like of using maybe clips, like different clips of you speaking and combining it into one speech, or what do you use AI for, if at all?
I don't use AI for anything. But I'm the exception, I guess, because a lot of folks are using AI to write speeches for them. And I don't know, Dan, as a speaker and as a coach who's for speakers, one of the first things I tell people is the audience wants the authentic you. Right? They don't want to fake you. They don't want you to be pretend you're somebody else. And if the AI isn't speaking in your voice, how can it write a speech for you? Right? Now, if you're using it to make sure you have correct facts about something, then maybe it's a helpful tool, right? But if you're using it to tell your to help you tell your story, I don't understand how an AI can tell your story better than you.
Makes sense. No, I agree.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what would you say is the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this company?
Wow, that's a good question. What's the one biggest piece of advice? I wish I had known there was such a thing as a business coach before I started.
You kind of learned that like along the way.
Yeah, yeah, you learn about those people along the way, and if you're smart enough to hire them early, you're more successful earlier. Building a team. That was actually one of the primary things that I learned from CEO Space, that building a team is a great path to success. Having a team of folks.
So, somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you. Do you mind sharing your website or social media handles? Just the best way to get in contact with you.
Absolutely. My email's right below my picture, jeff@speakercoop.com. That's the primary way to reach me. Our website, of course, speakercoop.com. It's spelled coop. We don't have the hyphen is not in the web address. And that's the quickest path to get to me. If you're looking for me on the social media, it's Jeff Klein Speaker. There's a lot of Jeff Kleins. I spell it like Calvin, Klein. So if you're looking for me on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or et cetera, it's Jeff Klein Speaker. And then you'll find me above all the other Jeff Kleins, including the musician and the New York State Senator and the other speaker who wrote a book and the other actor. And there's a few of us around. So
That was great. Well, Jeff, I want to say thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And we're rooting for you and wishing you the best of luck.
Thanks, Dan. I really appreciate your asking to be on the show. And it's always fun to get on with folks who have good questions like you did. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks. All right. Bye.